Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a story about customer service. I have a question to begin with. What comes to your mind when you hear 588-2300?
Empire.
If you have lived in the Chicago area for so many years as I did, it was drilled into you 3-4 times a day on the TV. And I remember the old man that founded the company. 588-2300, Empire. It is August 16. It's Sunday morning at 4 a.m. and the phone rings. And I know it's going to be a freaking phone call because it's Sunday morning at 4 a.m. Indeed it was. And there was this voice there, very serious, that says, it's either I'm living, or the dogs are living, or I'm ripping the carpets. I had really no choice. There was no fourth choice, just 3 choices. So the easiest of them, yeah, go ahead, rip the carpets. I returned home at Tuesday, August 18. The carpets are gone. They were all rolled that Sunday, put on the street. And Waste Management picked them up already Tuesday morning. I didn't see them again. But I'm told that there was a lot of canine excrements on the carpets. Somebody was very invigorated by my complete surrender. Yeah, go ahead, rip the carpets. And already called 588-2300. They have a 50% discount on TV. Well, they always have a 50% discount on TV. Always. 365 days a year. So I say, have you called Mazi? By the way, Mazi is one of the best handymans in the township, so let's talk with him. Yeah, he doesn't answer my phone. So let's call him again. I call him, he answers my phone, but he can't even come to see us before Thursday, the 20th. Okay, the salesman from 588-2300 Empire shows up at 10:30 on time, sassy, beautifully dressed like a salesman. He didn't have white shoes like the old-fashioned salesman. He's a modern salesman. He had some nice sneakers. And he was carrying this huge folder with flooring samples and carpets and whatever else. And he has a nice yellow measuring tape. And he has a big smile. The house is like an earthquake. Imagine that one room has to be vacated. All my books are all over the house. 4 monitors are on the floors. Between the monitors are dogs running. I have pictures. I've taken pictures of the situation. I knew that I have to take pictures of the situation. It's a disaster. And there's a huge fan about 6 feet diameter blowing in that room, trying to drive away the smell or whatever from this room and whatever is left from the plywood of the floor. Big stains of fluid. it's a complete capitulation. So I tell this man, all right, show us the samples, let's decide, go and take measurements, but only if you can tell me when you can get the new flooring installed. And he looks up his cell phone and he says, well, we can install it Friday 21, August 21. August 21, 5 days after the disaster. It sounds good. The other guy can't come even to look before the 20th. Takes measurement. Now the room is about the size here to here, and from here to there, maybe, something like that. It's 8.5 feet, barely not even 9 feet, and 18 feet long. And he calculates, and he includes a 50% discount, and it still adds up to some $1,400. I feel desperate. I feel really desperate. So you think you can install it Friday? Oh yes, no problem. Give me my credit card, put in 50%, which is $212, and we sign this paperwork. And that paperwork says, install date 8/21, and he signs his name, and I sign my name, and we sign the dates, and their measurements, and boxes, and you name it, and more, and more, and more. Look at that. And behind, look at the small lettering. You need to go over there to the Supreme Court, actually. And then it says, notice of rights to cancel, and this and that, and pre-installation checklist. I signed on everything. There is asbestos, there is molding, folding. Radon, who knows what's there? All right, comes Friday. Thursday, the day before, according to that, somebody should have called to confirm the installation. That somebody will be home, older than 18 years old. Nobody called. Friday at 9, nobody calls, and I say, well, this is odd. At 10, still nothing happens. Should have been installed. There's a contract. So I say to my housemate, I'm getting worried. I'm worried. Oh, they'll show up. They'll show up. Comes noon, and I say, this does not sound and look good to me. Where's the customer service number? It's the same number, 588-2300. And this housemate says, I'll call them. He likes to call, to do business on phone. He calls them. In 2 minutes, he brings me the handset and says, you deal with them. I can't deal with them. Young man answers the phone there, customer service, and I say, okay, my name is Lender. What's your name? Sir, I can't tell you my name. It's against company policy or whatever. What do you mean you can't tell me your name? No, we don't give our names. Say, installers were supposed to be here around 10:30 today. It's already afternoon and I'm sitting and waiting for them. Sir, it's not going to happen today. I'm still at the beginning of my rage, so I say, are you telling me that I'm going to sit here all day and your installers cannot come, and who is going to pay for me for my day? But I don't know, they are not coming. Says, where's your supervisor? I'm smart, you know. Says, okay, you can talk to my supervisor. And another young man answers me, and I don't know if this is his buddy or his friend, or they go to the bar together, or whatever. And he says, yes, sir. And I talk to him, and all I hear is, uh-huh. And I keep on raging, and he says, uh-huh. And that enrages me more, and I say, stop telling me, aha! I want to talk to somebody. Uh-huh. I get to my senses, and I say, there's something wrong with the accent. It does not sound like a Bronx, New York accent. It's not a Midwest accent. It's not Atlanta, Georgia accent. So I ask him, where are you located? Are you in the United States even? He says, yes. Where? In El Paso, Texas. Well, it's a border town between Texas and Mexico. Maybe he migrates to work from south of the border, I don't know. So he says, you know, because of the delay, we'll give you a $125 discount. We can do it as soon as possible. We decide on a date, and the date is Tuesday, August 25. A new day, a new morning. The phone doesn't call, the phone doesn't chirp, nobody comes, nothing has changed. And then I say to myself, that shouldn't have surprised me. It's probably a scam. But I got a contract. So I called the salesman, who I think looked honest enough, particularly because he left his cell phone number here somewhere. And I tell him, do you know who is calling you? He says, yeah, I recognize your voice. Now that sounds better. I said, oh, I'll get back with you as soon as possible. Let me talk to my supervisor. That's not acceptable, and on and on and on. Time goes by and nothing happens. Then I asked my roommate, what do you think? And he says, well, I'm going to sit on their neck until they block the phone numbers or something. Eventually, we get a phone call from Paul. Who is Paul? First of all, he speaks Midwestern English, and he's the general manager. We'll take care of it. Yeah, right. Next day, nothing happens. I call the salesman again, and I say, you know, you signed a contract. Are you ready to start litigation? And he says, no, I'll go up the corporate ladder. He goes the corporate ladder. I get a phone call from a little old lady with a Michigan accent. She's probably, I don't know, should be in her 60s. She's so nice, so sweet. And I ask her, where are you from? And she says, oh, I'm in Belleville, Michigan. I thought you're from North Lake, Illinois. That's their headquarters. No, we're the regional office, whatever. I'll be your contact person. Ooh, that's an improvement. I have a contact person, right? My name is Wendy. If you have problems, talk to me. Okay. So when are you installing the flooring? He says, shortly Aaron will come and they will bring the materials and then install the flooring. All right? Sure enough, within an hour and a half, I get a phone call from Aaron, and Aaron says, well, I'm in Ann Arbor, and he's a good Michigan boy. I'm telling you from his voice. He's calling from Ann Arbor, and he says it takes an hour and a half. We are on our way. And he comes with his body, with a van, with samples. He doesn't have a measuring tape, but he has this odd gadget in his hand. He goes to the room and he looks, and he puts it to the floor and it beeps. Goes here, put it to the floor, and it beeps. And he put it here and it beeps. And I think, ooh, very smart. He's looking for those beams that support the plywood floor. Right? Makes sense? Sitting in the living room amid this array and disaster, and he comes in and he says, well, we got a problem. I have been measuring the moisture on your floor, and we do not install anything when it is moisturing more than 13%. Your moisture level is 50%. So we cannot do the job. Call us after 2 weeks, after you dehumidify the room, and we'll come back. Maybe. And they are gone. So we go to Lowe's and we buy a moisture meter. That's what it's called, a moisture meter. And we go and we measure the moisture. We put on 3 fans. And in the end of August, we set up a heater in the room to warm up the room. And the moisture goes down. Then the weekend comes, it's very convenient, the moisture goes up. Another 30%, 50%, whatever. This is where we are, my friends. We live in moisture land. Now we are stuck. I have only one question. The smart salesman made a statement that he used to be an installer. So why did he come with a measuring tape but didn't come with a moisture meter? He could have measured the moisture right then and there and said, well, we can't do the job. First he took the money, then he sent somebody else to tell me that you can't do the job. That's great customer service. Let me at this point conclude and leave it at that. And I would ask you to start thinking, when you work with clients, you're working in sales, right?
Yes.
Is that the kind of customer service you expect from 588-2300 Empire? Okay. I'm no longer angry. There's one thing about me. I'm a public speaker, and public speaking gives me certain powers. I speak before audiences. I speak before salespeople. I speak before different venues, and I can tell that story. Do you want clients referred to you from ear to mouth, mouth to ear, with a good word or with some horror story? What do you prefer? Why do you train your customer service agent to tell me I cannot give you your name? Even United Airlines give me their name, the agents over the phone. Visa Chase agents give me their name over the phone. But 588-2300 Empire are hiding behind their customer service. So we got a story to tell, and we are not really now going to be angry. We're just looking at it as a game. Let's see how it develops. Thank you, fellow listeners.